Second Nature for Children is in the house. Coach, how you doing?
As always, man, I'm great. How about yourself?
Man, I'm doing absolutely great. It was so funny you just said, somebody gonna get a little hot today. Cause we're gonna touch on a little religion. And I'm always dealing with the mind, the body, and the soul. I'm always dealing with the mind, the body, and the soul. And I always tell you, you can never get away from those three areas. And dealing with the soul, it kind of fits a little bit when we talking about religion. But I definitely, because I heard something this week. I think it happened a couple of weeks ago, but the lady giving the
Oh
preacher,
yeah, 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 yeah,
yeah,
yeah, yeah,
the
yeah,
lady giving the preacher the money and about $1,200 and some change or whatever it was. And
yeah.
from the little bit I pulled up and listened to myself, I heard it myself. What he was telling her that really, it wasn't enough. I told you, and I told y'all $2,000, and y'all wasn't listening. And for the life of me, you know, I can't understand how us as a people still putting up with that kind of mess. That's just absolute mess. I would have took all my money back and come to find out that you have people trying to take up for the pastor. And I mean, it's so obvious, it's out there what was said, and you have people, even when the so-called pastor is wrong, trying to defend their wrong. What you think? What's wrong with us? I mean, what's wrong?
Man, I really believe some folks could go above and beyond to belong,
Mm,
and you can put anything after belong, be it an organization, be it you know, uh, um, a congregation. I mean, what if people go above and beyond to belong? And I feel if questions are asked and answered, because you can ask all the questions you want, that don't mean you can get answered. If questions are asked and answered, people will really get an idea as to who they're dealing with and what exactly they're dealing with.
mm,
So I feel folks just want to be alone and they're going along regardless of how the treatment is, they're just going along.
so we
Because
got.
if you got common sense, if you a sound mind and body, if you a solid individual, you would have said, okay, and you turn and you go out. Some of us might have given a few choice words and just keep walking,
Mm.
you know. So
I swear I'm not understanding our mindset in 2025 that first of all, we don't know the difference between religion and spirituality.
reality and truth.
It's just like growing up, I heard that God was in the sky and the devil was under the ground. I don't, did you ever hear that growing up? That God was in
Yeah,
the
yeah,
sky.
yeah. That's the general consensus. Wherever there's Christianity. Yeah,
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 yeah, and the
yeah.
devil is under the ground. And I wonder how many people still believe that
Man,
the God is in the sky and the devil is under the ground. And
I'd be
so
surprised, man, how many people believe that. But
and so from thinking about that, I want to talk to you briefly about this right here and see what you think about are blacks confused about religion? That's what I want to talk about. 'Cause I'm gonna have to say we got to be confused.
yeah,
We can't be that stupid to religion. We can't be we not in 2025. We can't be still that stupid. And I use the word. Go look up the word before you get offended. I've done plenty of videos on words that trigger us, and stupid is definitely one of them. But simply just meaning that's not sharp, what you're doing or what you're thinking. That's simply what it is. Not meaning to belittle anyone, but it's just something that's dull. It's something that's not sharp. You still can be going for this in 2025. So I just want to talk to you and I get your answer and what you see and what you think about blacks confused about religion. And so I want to break one or two words down and we could jump right into it, Coach. Confused of a person unable to think clearly, someone who's bewildered or puzzled about something. Oh, yeah, yeah.
Misunderstand. Yeah.
Okay, okay. I just want to make sure we get
Mhm.
so we could be on the
Yeah.
same page when we get started. And we understand, we already know that religion is the belief in one worship of a superhuman power or powers, especially a God with a capital G or gods, because you can believe with a small g. And we know that. And we got to make sure we get a clear understanding of belief. Because here's one of the problems I had with people over the years where they literally try to make their belief a fact, or either their belief a fact in someone else's life. And we got to understand that when you believe in something, and belief is just simply to accept, to accept that a statement is true or something exists. But to accept something doesn't make it true. That's what we got to make sure that we're very transparent about. Just because you have a belief, just because you accept something, it doesn't make it true, or it makes it where it exists. Just that's just your belief. And one thing I definitely do is I respect anyone. If that's your belief, that's your belief. But don't try to push your belief as a fact into my life. That's the problem I have. I have no problem with your belief. And if you notice in the definition of religion, just notice this right here, and I just gave it to you. You see nothing in that definition about being spiritually connected. Just because you are a part of a religion does not mean that you are spiritually connected. And over the years of me talking with different people and being in church all my life, I've found out that that is the confusing part to some people because literally discussing with some people, they think that just because they go to church or a worship place and being part of a religion, that they are spiritually connected, and it's just not true. I think as I look at it and I answer, are blacks confused about religion? And on the most part, I would have to say yes, because from my experience and my observation and my conversations with us over the years, just like I just stated, I've had people thinking just because they go to church or the mosque, wherever they go, I'm not just talking about Christianity, I'm talking about religion as a whole. Just because you are part of a religion doesn't make you spiritually connected. That's the confusing part. I think that we haven't got, most of us go to church from custom or formality. And you can see that in our behavior once we leave the church.
Mm.
Yeah, you can see that in our behavior because I've talked to many people, coach, over the years, and whether you know it or not, a lot of people think just because you go to church, you got to get this, and go to the worship place, that they are spiritually connected. I think that's the confusing part. I'm probably about to figure that out now. As you and I sit right here, what do you think about that? What do you think about? I've given you a little bit of. I know we're confused. between religion and spirituality. And I know for a fact that my encounters and me being in the church all my life until I came out in 2012, where people literally think that just because they go to church, that's good enough. I'm good. What you think about that? Are blacks
I mean,
confused about religion
I
or how
say
you
they
want
are.
to go? Okay.
I say they are. I also can easily say that, yeah, a lot of folk believe because they're part of a church, part of a congregation. You know what I mean? They tithe consistently. You know, everything is there okay. They really believe that. I always say, to me, from my understanding, I could be wrong, but religion is like your gateway to spirituality. You know, and if the majority of people were as closer to spirituality as it seems to be because of the different churches, the mega churches, all that, society will be better.
Mm.
So, how do you explain so many people can be so close to spirituality, moving in accordance, and yes, society is going downhill? People make up society. So, how you explain that? You know, how you turn someone's mindset, someone's perception all these years, they've been however long, 20, 30, some
Mm.
40 years, and tell them, you know, man, what you've been believing thus far, there's a couple more steps beyond that. You got to go deeper. They'll look at you like you crazy, you know. They'll look at you like you crazy, man. But I say some folks, you just got to let them wallow in ignorance, man.
Wow.
You know,
Wow.
what can you do? You know,
And that's crazy that you say, and you look at some of the churches and they got a new church, and I'm saying they say the line wrapped around the corner, and I'm seeing all these people, they say going into this building, and they've been doing this for many years, and now you got your mega churches, and you got these people packing churches out, and like you just stated, things are getting worse.
yeah,
And you would think that going into that healing place, to find that spiritual connection, that things would be getting better. And it lets me know that we got it confused, that we think that just because we're going into that place of worship, that everything is going to be okay without the work that needs to be done. And I think that's the part that we got confused. I think we got the working part confused. And I think we so hooked on the formality and custom of just doing it to we forgot about the work, that it comes with the work. And even the Bible tells you that faith without works is dead faith. Even the Bible tells you that. And I see now that that is definitely one of the biggest confusing things that most religious people are dealing with. Because I'm gonna tell you this here: if you don't see yourself maturing spiritually, and you've been in church all these years, meaning beginning to live the values of that religion, and we have to be careful because you think about this, there are cults too that can pull you in, especially when you're lost. I know a lot of them are out there too, and I got a couple of guys now that's in jail that was running cults. And when they did something very abusive to the certain women that was in the religion, what they call it, then they was reported to the police. And now they're in jail. But just think for years they was following that religion, they was following that cult until someone wronged them. So we have to be very careful of that. But in the religion sector, if you don't see yourself and see your character, your integrity, some type of compassion, some type of accountability, responsibility, or some type of self-love, or your concern for others, if you're not working to live by the principles of the religion that you're in, then to be very honest with you, what you say you believe in, it don't mean nothing. If you're not living, trying to live the principles, live by the standards of that religion, then that what you say you believe in, it don't mean nothing. I had to just say that one more time. If over time you don't see your life changing, I'm talking about for the better.
For the better, yep.
If
Yep,
you
for
don't,
the better.
if you don't, over time, if you don't see your life changing for the better, the places you go, the things you do, the decisions you make, if you don't see these things getting better over time, then you need to rethink your religion. Because
But
with
it not necessarily got to be the religion. It could be that person. It could be that person because you can pull out all the great qualities out of religion, from the having faith, from the, the morals, the ethics, and all of that. And you can incorporate that in your life. But if that individual believe all they got to do is show up every Sunday, Thursday, whenever it is, right? Worship, pray, and come out and everything be okay. I can't blame the religion. I got to blame that individual.
it's absolutely the person.
Yeah, yeah, I got to
Yeah,
blame that individual.
yeah, it's absolutely the person
Yeah.
because that's that person. That's why I topic this, and I'm glad you said that. That's why I topic this. Are we confused? Because it's absolutely the person. That person is confused because that person thinking just because I went up in here or I'm a part of it, everything is good. You just answered it. It's
Yeah.
absolutely if, and just like I said, if that person over time is not making the changes for the betterment of their life, if they're not living the principles not of a cult, but of a religion, because the religion has some good standards and principles that we're not living by. That's the problem. We're not living by what the principles of the standards of the religion that we say that we believe in. We really don't believe. We just have accepted something, and once again, because of custom and formality. In order for you to live your religion, coach, you have to be spiritually connected because the things that that religion requires you to do, it comes from within you. You said earlier that was important, and I'm sure some people missed it, that religion can be the gateway to spirituality. That's how you can get there.
I know a lot of religious folks. I'm talking about a lot of religious folks, and they're dedicated. But as far as spiritual folks, I don't know too many of them. I don't.
And that's the same with me. I know a lot of religious people.
Yeah.
A lot of, and that's why you don't see things changing. That's why you don't see things changing because you just have a lot of religion. And being part of a religion is something that's very simple to be a part of, especially if you're not going to do the work. All you got to do is show up for something.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, all you got to do, yeah. That's the simple
Show up
part.
looking clean. Show up looking clean. Smelling good. Yeah. Yeah.
All you got to do is show up
Yeah.
and put the facade on. That's all you got to
Yeah.
do. But when it comes to the working part, and see, they miss that part of the Bible, like I stated earlier, just because you saying that you believe in something, if you don't put any works into it, then that's just a dead belief. And we don't understand it. We're walking around being a part of something that's dead because, as you stated, the individual is not living the standards and principles of that religion. And that's the sad part of it because we have gotten religion and spirituality, we're confused about the two. And we think just because we are a part of a religion, that we are spiritual, that everything is okay. And that's not true. And most of us are just religious people. We are not spiritual people, because if we were spiritual people, that good spirit, because there's an evil spirit too. And if we was a part of that good spirit, you will see it more. You'll see more works. You'll see more. Our behavior would be different. And so that's one of the biggest problems that we're having. We're definitely confused, because when you believe in something, coach, when you believe in something, it'll lead you to a desire to live of obedience. When you really believe something, when you really believe something, it'll lead you to a desire to live a life of obedience, because it's an action word. So you have, when you tell me you believe something, I hear what you're saying with your mouth, but now you got to show me. Yeah, you got to show me now. Of course, I come from boxing, I come from fighting, and we talk, but then once you get up in the ring, now that talk, now you got to bag it up. So I look at religion the same way. I hear you, yeah, I hear you, but now you got to show me what you believe in. And you got to be able to seek that honor, or him or her. Some people believe that the woman is the God. So that's why I'm saying I'm not just taking one belief where we always just use the he or the him. Some believe that there's that feminine energy that runs the universe. So I'm talking about all religions. And then you have to follow their commands, because there are commands or commandments within religions that we have to follow. And that's why I say, if you begin to clean your life up, when the Bible tells you to come as you are, it don't mean come dressed physically with your clothes, with your booty out, or this and that. Not talking about that. It's just talking about whatever state that you're in life, you
Yeah, yeah,
come.
yeah.
Yeah, don't try to clean yourself up. Don't be talking about, well, I go to church when I stop drinking, or I go to church when I stop smoking. He said, no, come as you are. And that's why I said earlier, you should be able to see yourself getting better as time go on. And if you're not getting better, then you're not taking heed to that religion or that belief. What you got to say?
Not only that, man, I go for a step further.
Okay.
If people end up being sharper than when they first before they got in, they're sharper now, right? In all aspects of their lives. Wouldn't that or couldn't that be a reason to decrease the population in the congregation? Couldn't that be a reason to decrease it? Because if these people are so sharp that they know, well, I can listen to you, I really don't need you like I thought I need you. You know what I'm saying? So
Absolutely.
I don't really need to be here because I can do this in a dwelling of my home or whatever. As long as I'm standing firm on my principles, I really don't need to be here. Then, you know,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Believe me. By you saying it, believe me, I'm with you 1000%, because believe me, that preacher don't want you to become too conscious, because
there you go.
consciousness will move you out of that building.
Yeah, yeah,
Consciousness,
yeah.
that's powerful right there. Consciousness
Mm-hmm.
will move you out of that building. And so they know, the preacher know how to stay and keep your emotions up. They know what to preach and what
Yeah.
not to preach. You understand what I'm saying?
And it's funny you should say that now because I read an article a few hours ago that popped up. And I laughed. I said, but then again, it's true. It talks about why the congregations today are majority of women, majority of congregations are women.
Mm.
And you can hear, and this is a woman saying it now. This is
Okay.
a woman saying it.
Okay.
And she said you can kind of hear and feel the leaders of the house. I ain't saying everyone, a few who are tailor made in, their speech, tailor made in their, sermon to suit the female
Absolutely. Absolutely.
and their emotions, especially the
Absolutely.
single ladies in the house, you want to
Absolutely.
hold on for you, what they call it, say, hold on for Boaz or whatever, you know what I mean? And
Absolutely.
work on them, and all of that. So, yeah, yeah.
Absolutely.
So,
And coach, that's what the schools, the theology schools,
theology,
the
yeah,
thing.
yeah,
Right.
yeah,
Believe me,
yeah, yeah,
they
yeah.
bringing you in to teach
Mm.
you how to tap into the emotions of the people. You understand
Of
what I'm
us.
saying? Because the
Yeah.
writings are, and I did another video on where there was a white pastor back in the day and was teaching the other slave owners how to
Hmm.
minister to the slaves to get them to
And that's
do
something.
what you want them to do. So that's
Hmm.
so nothing has changed with that.
Change, yeah, yeah,
Right. And so
yeah, yeah, yeah.
nothing but now just the black preacher have went into the European way of teaching. Yeah, and so he have
Yeah,
studied how, because you got what the sale to the Negro in what 1954, 52, and they've
yeah,
studied
yes.
us. Right. They've
Hmm.
studied us. And so all we have done was went into their study of how to draw the Negro spiritually and pull them unto you. That's all.
And
That's
tweak it to so it can suit our ears and we can,
absolutely.
soak it up, you know.
Absolutely,
Yeah,
absolutely,
yeah.
absolutely. And I'm gonna ask you this right here, Coach. I'm gonna ask you this right here. Did you know that even the Bible states that even demons believe in God's existence? The demons, that evil spirit goes in the worship place just as well. Yeah,
I can believe that.
yeah.
You
Because
can't have one without the other, though.
mm,
You cannot have yin and yang. Okay, can't have good without evil. You know what I'm
mm,
saying? You can't have
absolutely,
those. You gotta have.
absolutely,
Happy,
absolutely.
sad. I mean, come on. That's that world in which we live in.
And I
You
see,
know.
and over the years, I've seen that evil spirit go more into the church than that good spirit. And not only that, my encounters outside of the church in dealing with certain people and doing certain things, church people with that evil spirit,
Yeah. Yeah.
with that evil spirit. And so you could tell by the behavior, that evil spirit. You could tell by the behavior. But I know people who don't subscribe to religion. I know plenty of people who don't subscribe to religion, but their behavior, coach, their behavior shows more of a spiritual connection because of how they live. So it lets me know, and I learned many years ago that the old way of doing things where you got to dress up and go in here and do this and do that, it's not the way to spirituality. It's going to take you as an individual, me as an individual, to decide, you know what, enough is enough. I really want to know what's really going on. And you're going to have to pull away and you're going to have to spend some time with yourself and that which you say you believe in. And that's where your meditation come in, because I have a belief as well, and it's personal. So I don't discuss my belief because I deal with my experiences that I've been through in my life. And I say to myself, in this universe, it's something that helped me. That's my personal. I don't have to share that with you, but I'm just sharing it now to let you know that I have a belief as well, but it don't come from me going into this place listening to this person up here tell me about something that's written in this book. I'm telling you from what I've lived. If I tell you something, I'm giving you my experience from what I've lived. And I think that's another thing that people get confused, that they're trying to connect what they have lived to what they're hearing in this book and trying to put them together. Don't mean that they go together. Just because your life experience is similar to what was just read. So, okay, now that has to be for real in that book. No, it don't. 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 So, my thing is this right here, coach. By showing character, integrity, and concern for others, I like to say, like I said earlier, a lot of us are confused about religion because, once again, we don't see our lives. If you don't see your life changing for the better and being more compassionate toward others, and if you don't see yourself spiritually maturing, that religion that you part of, it don't mean nothing. And I would definitely have to say that we as a people, we have confused religion with spirituality. And we need to become more connected with that, what they will call the immaterial part of ourselves, our soul. And I'm always teaching on the mind, the body, and the soul. So that's why I'm touching on this as well. That until we connect with that immaterial part of us, and until your character, your integrity, your compassion, your concern for others begin to go to another level. Just because you're going into a worship place that you will call, just because you busting that church open 2, 3 times a week, if you don't see your life changing for the better, and you get your life together so you can help people around you, so you can help others, that religion you part of, you that you haven't connected to, just that religion, it don't mean nothing. It don't mean nothing. And be careful with friends and family members that when you move on in life to better yourself and they still dealing with issues, don't let them pull you into their issues. Be very careful of that because when you begin to change for the better, you're going to be talked about. You're
Oh
going to
yeah,
be when you begin to be changed. If
that's
you
part of the journey, though.
if you
That's part of the journey.
yeah,
Yeah.
and yeah, I just want the folks to know that once you begin to change your life for the better, you're gonna be talked about because you got a lot of people around you, family members, so-called friends, or whoever, that's dealing with a lot of trauma, that's not changing, that's not trying to grow spiritually. So you will be talked about. So just get ready. Sometimes it can be a lonely road when you're making that transition.
Mm.
So just be ready. It can be a lonely road. Coach, anything you want to share before we get out?
This this obsession, I call it obsession because I come across it when folks are so focused on the upper room, the great beyond. How you so focused on where you trying to go in the sky supposedly, but you up down right here on Earth, on this planet, and you're not evolving, not handling business like you ought to. I don't understand that. So you just living to go to the upper room. I mean, just wash it, do little tasks you got to do, and then the upper room. That's what your life is about. That's what life's supposed to be about. I don't get it, man.
Well, see, Coach, by you saying that, to get to the upper room, there are principles that you have to live by. See, that's the part they're missing. The part they're missing is to get to the upper room, is the commandments. Remember when I just stated a little earlier, your belief should lead you to live a life of obedience.
Yes. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So to get to the upper room, you sure enough messed up if you think just being a part. That's why I say we confused because we think just because we're part of the religion that we're going to the upper room. No, no, no. In order for you to get to the upper room, coach talking about, you got some commandments to adhere to. You got some character that you need to work on. You got integrity. See, all of it go together. You got to have concern for others. Your Bible, that's a let me tell you something. I read it from the front. I taught out of it for 22 years because I taught in the prison. I taught 22 years on the prison ministry to nothing but killers. I covered 6 North and 7 North at what they call the most notorious jail in the country for 22 years. So I knew it from the front to the back. And you got to go in there and get some work done. You got to go in there and get some work done. When I was in the church, I was doing more work than the so-called deacons and the people that were supposed to hold titles. And I was a layman. I don't need no title. I'm just gonna do God's will as well as it was read as when I was in the Bible. I'm just gonna do his will. I don't need a title. Just call me a layman, but I'm gonna go out and work though. So in order for you to get to, like Coach say, in order for you to get to the upper room, you better get in there and see what the principles and the commandments are and what you need to take heed to get to the upper room. Because just being part of the religion, it won't get you to the upper room. Coach, you got 2 minutes. I'm gonna let you close out. I'm done. We confused about this thing.
All in all, man, when you look from the inception to now, to some degree, religion is about control. And even to this day, the control is still in effect. Like I said, you can pull a lot of things out of religion to enhance your life. I mean, just take you to a whole nother level, man.
Mhm.
But you have to do it, you know. You have to have that audit of your life. You have to be honest with yourself. That's things you have to do. That preacher can't do that for you. You got to do that for yourself. You know what I mean? If you want to get to another level, because I mean, some people are good where they are. I'm not talking about you. I'm talking about those who trying to evolve, trying to be better. You know. So instead of just going through the motion, man, just start putting the work in, man, to change your life. So you can be better, you can feel better. We got what a few more months, and then God willing, we see a new year. You know what I mean? Don't wait till December 31st, man. Start now, man. Start now. So that's my take, man.
All right, Coach. Until the next time, I'll holler.
I'll take it.